Hello, a very brief check-in with by the Light of Impossible Stars by Gareth L. Powell, number 3 in the Embers of War series. That is, that is, I'm at about 52% in, and I figured I'd just do a little check-in because there's things that I want to niggle about, because this seems to be a series that is more about the niggling than it is about the, oh boy. I mean, there's adventure stuff and that's fun, but there's all the niggly stuff. Um, they are low on fuel, the Trouble Dog, and the Penitence, which is another ship that has another carnivore, one of Trouble Dog's siblings, who has decided, cloned from the same human mind, who has also decided to, because everybody else is destroyed, that might as well um, become part of the House of Reclamation. And um, yeah, they're looking for fuel coils. Another military ship had already found one, which had kind of done the scouring, and they found a shady guy who wanted one of the ships, wanted basically the penitent, so they could lobotomize it and then put a new personality in and resell it on. Something nasty like that. But Deus Ex Machina, um, Nod finds something even better, which is some ancient alien tech amongst all the junk, which apparently no one knew what it was, because what it is something that you basically is a free energy source. It's something that you can just put garbage in, and you'll have energy. You'll be able to manufacture energy cores all day long, which is, it's the Doc Brown, cold fusion silliness. Which, yeah, okay, so we're really getting into kind of silly science fiction here, which is just like, okay, that's a major game changer for this particular universe. Like, holy shit. And maybe to Gareth L. Powell's credit, maybe it will be going forward, but it's very, very convenient in that way that you're just like, fine. Why did you make, if you wrote yourself into a trouble there, why you did? Probably because it wanted to pick up this smaller military ship, because they then have this conversation where Sal tells them, we have this amazing energy converter thing, which it's like, okay, and then they would say, well, for the greater good, we need to take you out and take this thing because this would be great for the war effort. But instead, it's like, and she shows them, look, we've taken out ships like you before, and he shows a picture of them um, taking out the evil admiral at the beginning of the first book, which is like, are you threatening me? It's like, yeah, you're threatening me, and actually, you can't do that because the Marble Armada is actually, that tech is what punched through the shield for them to then be able to assassinate just the captain of that ship. Um, but for some reason that works, and they decide, yeah, we'll become a part of your little armada and go to the safe spot, the Singularity, which is, you can see stuff by the light of impossible stars shining out of the Singularity. They decide to join them up. They join up with them, which is just like, okay, fine, fine. Yeah, and we're continuing with the stuff with Cordelia. Very handy to have a Lear name there. Cordelia, where she gets visited by, now, after having her dream of turning into the spaceship, she has a thing where she's contacted by her father in the Singularity, where he might actually be a part of the Singularity. Who knows? Maybe he's not even the father anymore. But he downloads all his information, all his flight experience and all that stuff into her head as a gift. They have a whole thing of like, well, you said that a human being is made up of their memories, but you forget your memories. So what are you truly? It's just like, oh, it's the cod philosophizing that really gets me, for all this stuff. It just very eye rolly that way. Um, and and she has to go find the key, and apparently it's got to do with her brother, which we've now sidetracked onto her brother, who is now a scavenger and looking for all sorts of jobs, and he's going off with this not Rottweiler, another dog named Scavenger guy, and apparently he's been paid by by Nick, the father, to go and find this salvage, which is the key. And once you get it off Lewis, there's going to be another brother, and it's just like, for fuck's sake. Okay, she can communicate with the singularity. Sal is hoping that for if both the Marble Armada and the evil space dragons, which seems to be how they cop Void space dragons, are both afraid of the singularity. There's something there that we can harness to our advantage. And the military guy that they picked up says, like, so is a weapon? It's like, yeah, maybe it's a weapon. So there's that. And we get the stuff with Ona Sudak. We get a little flashback through Sal's point of view of meeting George, and George recruiting both her and Clay to become a part of the House of Reclamation and introducing them to the Trouble Dog. All stuff about George, which would have been useful, I think, in the first book to give any kind of emotional impact to George if you're going to go that route. But he's got very pulp inclinations, even in his trying to do things. Like when he does focus, it's just like an odd thing to have George here now with his kindly eyes. I mean, there's not a great amount of characterization, but we see George briefly, which is, I guess, is interesting. We also get, I think, more of a scope of exactly. There've been a lot of kind of words spoken about how this was one of the most devastating wars, the one that Onasudak ended with destroying the sentient planet, like it had consumed. Now we hear, I mean, maybe it said before, billions of lives, and a whole generation of people coming out of it had used the words of Onasudak to, the best minds for generation rage, lose, kind of quoting, paraphrasing Allen Ginsberg, sort of the great devastation of the war, none of which I really got from the opening bit of Embers of War. It was like, okay, it was a big battle, but you didn't get a sense like it's like a a generation butchering kind of horrible war, most giant war ever kind of thing. I don't know. It's one of these things of it's space battle, so it's the difficulty of really getting some kind of a sense of the impact and scope. Something which, if you had just one battle and you had Sal's actual experience with it and how the horrors of it, being specific and something that's like, you say billions and it's just like, okay, but you say, I went into war with my 5 friends and all 5 of my friends died in these various horrible ways. That would have more impact than just saying billions of people died. It's like, it's just the nature of the human mind. It doesn't have that impact. And in fiction, you can actually dramatize this stuff to actually make me emotionally feel it, versus some intellectual billions died. It's like, it's a number and it doesn't mean it means something, but it doesn't emotionally mean anything to me. So yes, that is my niggles and wobbles about this part of The Impossible Light of the Stars, or whatever the fuck it's called, by Gareth L. Powell. I will leave it there. More videos later.